all of his shorts to blue.
Okay.
I didn't have to go to each one of them
Right.
and hope that you're selecting the same
Same
blue.
color, okay. Show me how to, I want to create my own color, the customized colors.
Okay. Going back onto layer, I'm gonna choose his shorts again.
Okay.
When you're here, you go down to the bottom, and here's your color wheel. So you can, if you want it in the pink family, once you're purple, whatever that is, you see I'm just kind of dragging it around.
Mm-hmm. And then that number is called the hex number.
The hex code.
Hex code.
Yeah, so if you know what the code is for a particular color.
And that's why you keep your catalog.
Yes.
Now.
But that only matters if I'm gonna print him.
Right. And we're gonna make him multiple times after.
No, no, I'm printing him. I'm not cutting him.
Oh.
I'm printing him.
This is really cute.
Because the reality of it is, if I'm cutting him, I'm gonna choose the blue that closely matches my cardstock.
Gotcha.
I only care
God,
about
yeah.
my hex is if I'm sending it to a printer
in the
and I need it to match everything else.
And the ink is gonna print that color. but
Correct.
You use the cardstock, whatever you have.
Correct.
I got ya.
So this is going to be the closest blue to what you have, and more times than not, just choosing from in here, it's gonna be close enough.
Okay.
But the purpose of choosing from here is that when I go to make it, I wanna cut all of my blues out of the same paper, right?
Yes.
But these blues are showing up here, and the other one's showing up here because I didn't sync them.
Right.
So I need to go back,
Sync all the shorts together.
right, color sync, and then just drag this there. So again,
Okay.
the colors here for just cutting,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. You want it to be whatever is the closest to the piece of paper you're gonna put into the machine to cut it.
Gotcha.
And if you're working on multiples like we are here with our 3 different Mickey Mouses, we want to sync up the colors so that you don't have a pink here, a pink there, a pink here,
Right.
going to 3 different screens.
Yeah.
You have one piece of pink paper you're using, and you want all of your pinks to cut at one time.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, so what else are you struggling with?
I know, that's what I'm saying, I have to go.
Can we go and do the things on the bottom? What are the those things are the gray things on the bottom?
Yep, we sure can. Let me get rid of a couple of these.
Okay.
Okay. So whether you're in the layers or the color sync, they're the same. So slice isn't here, and I'll explain slice in a minute. Weld is when you're working with lettering.
But we're here, so might as well.
And I'm gonna choose the system font because I wanna pull it from mine. So do you remember when we were in lettering? That to bring the letters closer, we need to decrease our spacing.
Mm-hmm.
So weld would be used anytime 2 things overlap, and when it cuts, you don't want them to cut into each other.
Okay.
So even though my R and my E look like they are attached, they're not attached until I weld it.
Okay.
Now it's attached.
Okay. And then show me how we delete some of the space between the E and the T.
Okay, before I weld it,
Okay.
So Jenny put it here.
Okay, so now what, all this is right now is several letters grouped together.
Mm-hmm,
I need to ungroup it,
okay,
you see up here?
yes,
I'm gonna ungroup it, and now I can click on each one manually and move it,
okay.
or I can select it.
So now that you moved it and you select all, it's now gonna move all together as one piece.
Right now it is, if I do this, it will.
Yes.
I don't want that in here. Let me
Right.
move him.
Gotcha.
But what I'd want to do is group them back up.
Oh, make them one unit,
Yes.
okay,
And then at this point, if I was happy with the spacing, then I would weld it.
okay. All right, that makes sense.
Okay, so now let's talk about the next one, which is attached. I'm gonna choose a different font. That one's fine. Okay, so now, when I go to cut this, do you see how it's in there as my one name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are attached. What that means, and I'm gonna hide him. And you'll notice that I clicked on the I with the description to get rid of the entire thing.
Okay, and to bring it back, you would just click on
Click
it
on the
again.
I.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
What is the little, equal sign to the right of that? Yeah, what's that?
I'm not really sure. I've never used it.
Okay,
Couldn't tell you.
doesn't look like it's doing anything if you ask
No, I
me.
think it's just identifying that it's the master,
Okay.
for all of the underscore layers.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
I don't know, I've never used it, that's a great question. Okay, so now if we look at my name, everything is,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16.
so if I ungroup it, it breaks it out.
Okay.
Then you need to cut one more.
But if I attach it, so let's say, let me bring something in.
I thought you were taking me there. And I'm following
Let's say
you.
that I want my name cut out of the middle of the stop sign.
Oh, pretty.
I called it a stop sign, but,
Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm.
okay? When I go to cut, by just doing it that way, my Teresa is in one box,
Mm-hmm.
partly because they're not the same color. So my next thought would be, oh, I need to sync the color.
Okay. Ah, okay. Put them together.
Yeah, it's not the right answer, I'm just walking you through it.
Right.
They're still not. I want this to cut out
Yeah.
of the middle of that. So
Get in
let-
there.
Let me show you what you do. Is that you select both of them and you attach them. Now when I go to make it, Teresa's gonna cut out of the middle of that box because they're attached.
That is cool.
Now, so that I could see it actually in there, if I come in and I make this, say, a white, let me attach them.
Okay, so I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make a heart and I'm gonna make my nephew's initials and I'm gonna put it inside that heart and I'm gonna cut it so you can see that I knew what you were talking about.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So now I want to attach them. And so because we're attaching them, you can't really see it anymore, but it's there.
Okay.
I'm gonna detach it. And then I'm gonna slice it.
And slicing it means to do what?
Slicing is wherever two things overlap, it creates a negative.
So you didn't answer me. What do you do with all that stuff?
What'd you just say?
Where slicing is, I have a pie.
Okay,
I wanna take a triangle out of the pie,
okay,
so I slice it.
okay,
So wherever two things overlap,
okay.
it creates a negative. So if I have a piece of pie, let me find another shape. Okay, so we have, so here's my pie.
Mhm.
You're gonna move in with her?
Thank you for being that visual with me, because that's how visual I am.
That's not a problem. Here's my
Slice.
my slice. To rotate this, I'll put it up here, I'll rotate that.
What?
Now, if I had put it further up,
Mhm.
it would look like,
Yeah, yeah, this is to fit more, it
Yeah.
look like you actually took a piece out of that pie.
I think my instinct was correct the first time, this needs to go this way.
Yeah, and hang over, just like, yep,
Yep,
now it's gonna look like a delicious pie. Would you look at that?
or it's Pac-Man.
Oh, Pac-Man, very good. Or watermelon.
But see,
slice.
every place where there was an overlap, it cut it.
Gotcha.
So that's what the slice
I'm not
does.
sure it could be able to do that without going over it 15,000 more times,
We
but.
have it on
yeah.
recording.
I know this, I know, but still.
But that's okay, you have a reference point to go back to.
Right.
Okay, so, let's talk about flatten again. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Open up my. Now, he has some layers on him that I don't want. I don't want that layer, and I don't want that layer. He's got 2 extra layers to him, because you could, if you, when you buy it, you get a shadow and you get an offset.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so, again, you have 2 choices when you want to make this. The first choice is that it's gonna cut out each individual piece on whatever colored paper you have, right?
Mhm.
The second option is I can flatten him, and now he's a print file.
Okay.
So now when I send this to print, he's gonna print out, and then you're just gonna cut, it's gonna cut right on the line of him.
Where'd you get it?
Okay.
So it's known as a print and cut, cause you're printing it and then you're cutting it. So
I'm sending it to my home computer.
home printer,
A printer, and it's gonna print it on my cardstock.
correct.
And then I'm gonna, once it's done doing that, then I'm gonna take it and put it back on my Mac to feed it through my Cricut machine, and the Cricut machine will then
Yeah, we're making.
cut it around.
Yes, it will.
How? And I don't even answer that. You ain't got time for that.
How in the world?
How in the world does it know to do that?
Magic.
It's Mickey, it's magic.
Nice one.
So now, if you look at my options, I no longer have the word flatten, it's now unflattened, because I've already flattened it. So if I wanna go back and now, either print different layers of it, so what, some people like to do with, print and cuts, is maybe you don't want all of him to be